I count the blocks to make sure they're either 5s or 3s, especially.
Okay, so that's what you're going for. It's usually 5s and 3s.
Yep.
Good to
Always,
know.
always. Well, typically 5s or 3s for me. But like I said, 3s,
Right.
anything odd. Now
Okay,
I've
so
gone and made a mistake here. I see, for example, I'm noticing that this is not even. I want the engine to look even, even though the areas that it's going to be attached to are going to be asymmetrical.
okay. So we'll go ahead and let's see what you're doing here. So
See, that's okay because
basically,
it actually gives me room for more stuff inside.
gotcha. So would I be correct in kind of assuming that the rule of three applies pretty much all the time, but there's also an exception for the number five as it's not divisible by three?
Exactly. For example, 3 times 5 is 15 divided by 3 is 5.
Okay.
I know that sounds a bit weird, but
Okay. I think I get what you're saying. I mean, basically those odd numbers tend to pop out. Like sevens are well known to a lot of people as well, and they tend to things with seven blocks in them do tend to kind of pop out. I've noticed, at least when I'm looking at it. For if you're looking for a really big space, that is.
right. It scales. It scales kind of proportionately.
Okay.
And sometimes I'll rebuild something 5, 10, 15 times before I get it right. Depends on just exactly what it is and how important it is to the overall uh, message that the ship is going to send.
Right. And so never really. I mean, I know sometimes when I'm building, for instance, I'll build something, I'll sink a lot of time into it, and then it just won't look right, and it'll
Oh
bug
yeah,
me.
don't be afraid to get rid of it.
Yeah, and if it's really bugging you that much, but you don't want to get rid of it, and that's what's keeping you from doing it, keep a copy. Save it as an alternate blueprint. You can always do that.
So at this point, I'm saving my first work in progress in both local and elsewhere.
All right. So there we go. We got the first. This will be the first step. So there we go. Who knows? Maybe we'll do a WIP, a work in progress lineup again on these once we're all done. We'll see. Once we've got all the different versions or whatever. I don't know. I'm just talking, filling time.
Oh yeah.
I feel like a radio broadcaster, and a really bad one at that.
I wouldn't say that.
I would. It's okay. You don't have to. I said it. You just have to agree.
I don't have to agree.
That's true. But remember, I'm blackmailing you with what was it called? The Wookiee file on there. Something about that. A night on Kashyyyk.
Oh God. Now we're getting dark.
Uh, I mean, far be it from me to say that you were eating weird Kashyyyk grasshoppers and things like that, and it was all caught on film.
Hey,
I'm
don't
not
tell Jay
saying
about
that.
that, man. He gets mad when he screws grasshoppers.
I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that. I'm not implying that. I'm just implying that.
I
You know.
understand.
Alright, so in here, I had a little glitch there. Alright, there we go. Sorry about that, guys. Alright, so we got looks like a window back here.
At first, I was thinking, I'll put systems in here and be responsible. And then I'm like, I want to make this thing look cool.
So, yeah, okay, so you guys see, the outside looks nice with that, but double it up on the inside too, so it has that. It looks like a tunnel almost. I gotta say, just the way that this thing's oriented right now, it looks like you're looking at the Milky Way through this thing. Now get out of your
Ha, that's
way.
awesome.
It really does. It looks really cool. Alright, so then we got, and while I was gawking at the view through the window, we managed to add on or detail this stuff up a little bit. Uh, so this is the rule of five, guys, if you can see that there. And that's sort of hiding the door a bit. Let's pop out the way. I just realized I was incredibly close to the lava on the engines. Yeah, that could have been really bad.
So don't be afraid to put wedges on wedges, so you can wedge while you wedge.
Yo, dog! I heard you like wedges.
Yeah, don't ever be afraid of negative space, and don't ever be afraid of weird shapes.
All right. So there we go. For anyone that doesn't know, and I'm not trying to insult anyone's intelligence, but negative space is just where there's nothing there. It does tend to make some really nice contrast stuff. Alright. Starting to... Alright. Definitely tell me if you end up going up front, though, because I'm going to have to move. I'm really liking this. It's definitely looking really cool. But then again, it's Dalmont, so it's gotta look cool, right? It's just part of the way it works.
That's a rule of thumb too.
Exactly. Rule of thumb: if it's Dalmont, it's gonna look cool. It doesn't matter. It just happens.
And don't worry, guys. My ego isn't that big in real life. Okay,
actually, it kind of is, guys. Yeah. You know, a little bit. Not really, but kind of. Yeah. No.
Another thing I end up doing from time to time is just making some obscenely detailed area for what seems like no reason. Oh, and in my infinite wisdom and brilliance, I've forgotten to link my cannons to anything, but that's okay.
Well, thankfully, build mode does allow for fixing of that.
See, now that's boring. Nobody wants to see me link cannons. I'll do that later.
All right, so everybody remember, link your cannons. I do that. I think everybody's made that mistake.
Moving to the front.
Okay, so we'll get a nice little flyby over the top as I go. There we go. Fly between these engines. All right, I can see. So go for it whenever.
Yeah, I'm actually building in the inside of the engine.
Okay, I'm gonna sneak down here before you close it off. Then.
Oh, don't worry. That's
inside
not
the engine.
Closed off.
Okay, inside of the engine.
No, well, it's the little wingy bit. It's
okay. So he's doing stuff in there. We can't really see it right now, but that's okay. So, I know we were talking a little while back, and you said it in the Libra video, about detailing the interior so that it appears on the exterior.
Yes.
And would you mind kind of giving an idea of what that means? Because I know, and some viewers may know, but a lot very well may not.
Basically, the window is the perfect example. You look in and you see the ship, and at the same time, it looks like a functional piece of equipment, technology. You know, it's symbiosis, even, if you will. You have to make the thing work together. I mean, you think we're in space, you need some kind of efficiency. You can't just tack on random bits of stuff and expect it to work out. Now, well, you can, but that's if you have a really big ship and you're trying to detail large flat areas of doom and unpleasantness. Avoid those, by the way. Don't ever put yourself in the position of having.
We will. Oh wait, no, wait. Are we back? Are we back? We're good. All right, that'll be an edit point. Good to know. All right, we're good. I'm back. I can see. All right, so we've added the little dots at the top, and I'm guessing at the bottom as well.
Now I'm working on improving the chamfer of the wing.
Alright, just mic test really quick. Can you hear me?
Yep. Loud and clear.
Okay. I'm just trying to make sure, because I ran into a little lag spike there, and it went not responding. Alright. So there we go. We're cutting off part of the engine so that it breaks up that line. Right? Something like that?
Oh yes, that's exactly right.
See, I'm just saying stuff and guessing.
Oh, you're accurate.
I'm a good guesser, I guess. So then we got some wedges over here. Alright. I've noticed that, I mean, I'm not necessarily trying to stereotype your builds or anything, but you tend to use a lot of wedges, and I'm sure it's just more of a personal thing, if at all. But I have noticed that maybe you don't use as many corners.
I never use corners, mostly because they're broken and they don't do what I want them to do ever, which is sad. I mean,
Yeah.
I wish we had the other. I suppose it was like 8 different orientations for corners.
Yes, where you could lay them on their sides if you wanted.
Oh yes. And now the minute you guys give
I
me that,
know.
I will use corners like a madman.
I have been thinking the same thing for so long. It's yeah. I've been. If I had a way to contact Schema personally and actually know that he'd listen for sure, like yeah, I would just be screaming that in his face.
Talk to him.
I know, right? I've been thinking about it, but like that is one thing that I would love to see is just all 8 orientation points on those things or whatever. No, not 8 because it has 8. What is it? 32?
Something
I want
like
to
that
say.
total. I don't know.
Yeah, because there's 8, which is both the vertical axes. So maybe 16. 16 would probably be correct. I don't know. I get hung up on numbers. Alright. So here we go, and it looks like... Alright. So we've got the 2 little antennas on the wings, and then the one longer one in the center. And do you have any idea what you're going to do, fill the inner nose cone with yet? Any ideas?
Not quite yet. Probably shields and thrust, actually. I'm thinking it's going to be more of a light assault craft, something that's really kind of more fast.
Okay, so like a picket or a harassment type thing.
Exactly. Something almost
Okay.
unreasonably quick. Now, this is only 57 meters long, by the way. Now,
Okay.
keen observers
Only.
will note that it doesn't look 57 meters long.
No, it really doesn't. 57 meters. Remember, guys, this is Dalmont's version of a fighter. Mine's like 10. That's my fighter, but that's just me. Alright. Either way, whatever your scale is. Let's get a look under here. Alright, anywhere I should be looking?
Outside of the wings, details are happening.
Outside of the wings, details. Ah, look at that. Alright. It's just breaking up those lines again. So I'm assuming I can say this with some confidence anyway. Don't be afraid to break something you've already made and that it looks pretty. You can always rebuild it. And try out whatever you want. Okay, so... Just hoping this doesn't turn out to be like the Libra video. Too much like the Libra video. Where my editing software no longer works. Okay, so what are you going with here with the raised pieces? Is that just breaking up the line again, or just trying something out?
Things of that nature. Gonna see how it works. It depends.
Okay. Yeah, alright. Coolio.
I like to at least attempt to try new stuff with the builds. And one of the things I think is very important is that the ships need to be kind of there's a word for it. Functional. They have to look functional.
Yeah.
They're totally not. So, you know, everything needs to be connected to something. I mean, your ship's gonna fly apart in space if it's not. So.
Right.
See, like the knee bone's connected to the thigh bone, the engine's connected to the spaceship.
The engine's connected to the engine bone? That doesn't really work. Yeah, okay. No, I got you, and it makes sense. Which is probably why you do it. Because if it didn't make sense, well, we'd probably be in trouble. I believe that line was exactly what was used last time.
Oh, indeed.
Alright, and is this, would this be like, I noticed you've got the wedges sort of coming forward here on the sides of the wings. Is that like, again, like we've discussed in the past, just trying to make it look a little bit longer?
Exactly, and also to uh, connect the whole thing. I mean, if you notice, that draws the line basically. So you go up to the top of the engine. The top of the engine is now connected to that pointy bit sticking out the front. It's not just a pointy bit stuck on anymore. It's actually part of the ship.
Okay. Yeah, alright, cool. Yeah. Alright, so you're talking about the antenna sort of area?
Yep. And now I'm actually wedging up the front. One thing people notice a lot of times is that I don't do wedges how people normally do wedges. I do the wedges in such a way that it makes the ship, and it kind of, you have to kind of feel your way through. It depends on the ship and what exactly you're trying to accomplish.
Right. And I just realized why I've been lagging so badly. My computer wants to do updates. Yay!
Ooh, fun.
Yeah, I thought I turned those off. Alright.
You have to kind of pick and choose where horizontal wedges are going to lie as opposed to
Alright, yeah.
kind of like up down.